Hey Bob, how you doing?
Hey Dan, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm here in
Good, good,
Glastonbury.
good. Yeah, awesome. So for those of you who are tuning in, who are watching this, I'm Dan, this is Bob, and we decided to jump on and do a man-to-man chat, sharing about, well, let's be honest, the divine masculine heart, what it is to feel and to fully integrate all parts of us as a man, as men, the struggles we're facing, what it's about to be a man on planet Earth. And we're going to very much kind of just go with the flow here. So we're going to have some fun, but we
Yeah,
will
we're
also
gonna.
be very honest and, yeah, speak our truths. So, yeah, anything you want to add before we kick off, Bob?
I think you said it, Dan. I just want to mention that Dan and I met in New Zealand. We had a very strong synchronistic meeting, a very strong meeting around divine masculinity, and that's why we're here. And we're um, Dan has come over from New Zealand to create and offer an amazing um, retreat in Glastonbury in October that's going to be about the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming into harmony. So we'll be talking about that a bit later, but I just thought I'd mention that's how we met, and we met in New Zealand, and we connected around this sort of like strong this desire to embody like a strong new type of masculine in this world, whilst at the same time like really being in the heart, where that meets
Mm,
like strong masculine, but also an open heart. Because like
mm.
strong masculine without a heart is it's the old paradigm version, and look where that's got us. And none of us want to be doing that shit anymore, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Look where that's got us. And I want to add in there that I'm not doing the retreat on my own. My wife, my partner of 26 years, is also coming over, and we've done this many times. And so just yeah, if there's any ladies watching, this is for retreats for couples and singles, men and women. But yeah, I love what you say, Bob. And if I drop in here and share a little bit my journey, or let me frame it like this: when you talk about I call it the feminine heart because the feminine is about love in a way, love the feminine, and then the masculine is almost I talk of it about being like the spine, and we all have this masculine, feminine. We all have a little bit of heart and spine, and in different proportions. And my journey was I had so much love growing up as a young man, as a little boy, as a young man. I had so much heart, and I still do. And I met my wife Jenny, and we had a lot of fun and loved each other dearly, and our relationship started to fall apart. And my journey, I won't go into it here, but it was realizing my journey as a man was realizing it was no good just being love, 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 because in our relationship, my wife was having to be the spine the whole time, and it was tiring her out. She wanted sometimes to be able to drop into a feminine energy, which she had a lot of as well. So my journey, we talk about decades of figuring this out and going to America on my journey, my travels to figure out why was our relationship failing and why was I so felt so there was pieces of me missing. I knew there was bits of me missing. I knew there was more to me. I didn't realize there was this masculine spine I had to develop, which is what you're talking about. And I didn't have to drop the heart. I could keep this love. I could keep the heart and the spine. And so I often talk about, as men, it's the power of love, being so powerful and strong, and being able to tap into our hearts.
yeah, and part of the reason me and Dan felt cool to have this chat and to offer out this chat online right now is because we're both feeling. Well, I know I'm. Yeah, we're both feeling right down. Like I think a lot of us at the moment we're really feeling. I know a lot of the women out there I meet, they're saying, "Wow, we're really feeling the men right now. We're really like, whoa, the men are really. A lot of the men are really going through it right now." Um,
Yeah.
um, and they, I mean, I was at a concert in Glastonbury last night, a Divine Feminine concert, and the woman who was singing offered this song for the men, for the brothers, for the healing of the brothers. It was so exquisite. I was almost crying. It was
Mm.
so tender. And she was, before she played the song, she was talking about what inspired and motivated her to write a song for men. And she was saying she'd had this sort of like download in a ceremony that men, we have had to always fight in this world for thousands of years. We've been the warriors. We've had to fight. We've been in battle. We've had to protect the women and children. We've had to, we've had to, we've had to kill. Let's be honest. We've had to know that put our lives on the line in battle as a constant, you know, and what that's and so what actually this woman was saying was that men's hearts were never able to open because we were in that role of the warrior, and we couldn't open our hearts because that just wasn't appropriate. We had to fight. And so this is kind of still in our genetics as men, even though we're not in that in this current time. Obviously there is war, but we don't have to fight and battle, but we're still on some level programmed to do that, which is why men go so hard. We're programmed to do, to achieve, to provide, to work. And it's like, don't feel, just keep working. Don't feel, just keep working. That's how we're programmed. And right now, this programming is breaking hard. It's dying on its ass. And the divine feminine, this is what I really feel living here in Glastonbury. The divine feminine is really coming online in these times. And that divine feminine energy that's really coming forward, and it's been waking up for a while now, good like 10 years or more. Now it's really here. And that energy is, I would say, is forcing us men to feel,
Mm.
right? And it's what it's doing is it's forcing us to meet what's here. Um, and for I can't speak for old men, obviously. I'm not going to even try and do that, but I speak for me as I'm forced to meet what's here. I'm experiencing a lot of uncomfortability. That's an understatement. I'm meeting a lot of trauma, actually,
Mm.
layers of it on top of my heart. It's ancestral. It's from my father. It's from my grandfather. Both my grandfathers fought in both world wars. So these were not men who were allowed to feel their hearts. So I carry that as a 40-something-year-old man. And so this is what I'm being called to heal and to feel. And it's not easy. And yeah, I feel like a lot of men out there, they're struggling on their own with this. They don't know how to do this. There's not a lot. I think there needs to be support and a growing brotherhood, growing tribe where we can support each other to with
Mm.
this. Otherwise we're just alone scrambling around going, what is this? What I'm feeling? I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm just going to have a drink and have a
Mm.
split and numb out, which is not the way anymore. Numbing out is not the way anymore.
Mm. Yeah,
Right.
totally. And I want to acknowledge your, vulnerability and honesty in that space, Bob, of, sharing the pain of feeling. And I feel like there's almost two things here. One is almost somebody once explained it as almost like the healing of the broken bone. When we have an injury, there's the break in the bone, and that bone has to heal. And that's almost, sometimes we have these traumas locked into us, which we have to kind of heal these traumas and let stuff go and acknowledge stuff and go. But you actually almost have to face. My journey was actually, this is what my journey was all the bits of me that I didn't like. I'd been looking for the holy grail, the beautiful shining thing that would make me happy. And I kept finding bits of me I didn't like, and I'd pick them up and like almost throw them in a big black bag on my back, like a robber has a bag. I was throwing all this stuff that I didn't like, so I couldn't see it. And I was looking for ages, for years, we're talking like a decade of trying to figure out how I could become happy and free as a man. And then I finally realized that maybe I should stop looking for the gold and have a look what was in the sack, all the shit that I was throwing in there that I didn't like, bits of me that I was hiding. And I got them all out over a long period of time. And each one looked at it and kind of dealt with it. And that for me is that part of the healing of these broken bones, this traumas that we have, that we have to face this stuff. And it's not easy. It can be tricky. And just
And
acknowledge.
we've been given no choice anymore, I would say.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how anyone out there is. I don't think anyone out there is. It's like we're the frequency of planet Earth as we're starting to move into like the new Earth. For any of you who are watching this, I'm sure if you don't know about like the new Earth, like right now, the patriarchy, the old system, the old paradigm is ending. This is why we have so much chaos around us. And you know, astrology is very much saying, has been saying for years, this is the time where the old system crumbles and the new Earth, a new way begins on planet Earth. And this is about this is going to be welcoming back the sacred feminine, the true feminine onto the planet. So it's not fucking patriarchy anymore. It's a new way of walking and being on this planet, a whole new frequency where we're this is what the retreat's all about, right, Dan? It's
Yeah.
like masculine and feminine
The
dancing
weave.
together in harmony. This is
Yeah.
what we're called to create on this earth. And so this is what the work that us men, have to do, are being called to do in these times, is to integrate, to meet the feminine within us, to work with her, to feel her, to realize that she is actually on the inside of us, that we don't necessarily need a woman to provide that. We can actually access the
Mm.
feminine internally if
Yeah.
we choose to. And then we don't need to be grasping it and grabbing it and sucking it from a woman, which a
Mm.
lot of women get really pissed off about, right? They're like,
Understandably. Understandably. Yeah.
"Oh,
My that's exactly my journey was again. Even though I had a lot of love, in my relationship with Jenny, I was actually empty because the love I was getting, a lot of it, I was actually getting from Jenny. I
yeah,
call it sucking onto the mother tit. It was like,
yeah,
I was literally plugging in, going, give me some of that life force that you've got because you're so full of love. And then I'd be like, I've got love, but I was sucking energy from my wife without even realizing it. And like you say, Bob, it was understanding that I can generate that myself was transformational in my life, bringing
I have
on,
a question.
yeah.
Yeah, and so just curious, like when you were doing that kind of sucking from your wife, sounds a bit rude. Uh, um, what was the shadow of that in her? Like, you know, I'm
I
guessing.
can't speak for Jenny, but I'm sure it was a case of she just wasn't I'm guessing, maybe fully aware of what exactly was going on or how to deal with my demand for a little bit of attention and my manipulative kind of being around that. Or I can't really answer for her what the shadow was for her, but whether it was a lack of awareness of exactly what was going on and how to deal with it. I mean, hey, we were married, so it's a tough one for Jenny to deal with.
My experience, if you pull on a woman's energy, then actually you'll experience her anger. This is what I've been. I'm
Yeah.
like, if I'm pulling overly
Yeah.
from a woman, she'll feel it. These women
Oh
are
yeah.
highly intuitive. They feel it, and they're like, and what? it will often look like come back as like anger, like, dude,
Yeah.
don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Okay.
my job. It's not my job to provide your feminine. I can provide some nurture, and I know this is also another interesting little theme. We're not going to bang on for too long. Got it. Like,
Can I jump in and answer that bit? Because I think what you've touched on there answers the question. You've unlocked the answer in me. Can I just share that bit?
yeah,
What it did with Jenny was Jenny did get frustrated, not so much angry and screaming at me, but frustration with me that I wasn't. She could see there was a better version of me. And she's such a good woman. She wanted that for me, for us. Her frustration was she couldn't tell me how to do it because if she did that, she would effectively be like my mother, teaching me how to be a man. She would be in the masculine, teaching me how to be a man in my mess. So her frustration was, even though she knew what was wrong and probably kind of could say, I need you to be more conscious. I need you to be more aware. I need you to. I had to figure that out for myself. And that was the tricky bit, which luckily I kind of did one day. I said, babe, I'm going to go and figure this out. I'm going away for a period of time and I'm going to figure this out. And I hope if that answers you, that was the, I don't know if that was
yeah, and I feel
shadow,
like
but it
that
just shows how difficult it is for women in a way and why ultimately I feel like as men, it is our responsibility to figure out how to become whole. It's not
right.
our partner, our women's job to lead us there and show us the way.
Mm, wholeness,
Hey,
wholeness. That's what we all yearn for, right?
that's the
I,
one.
I had one thing just come up.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk for too long, guys. Just so you know, we're going to go maybe 5, 10 more minutes more, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the retreat at the end and just
Yeah.
a little bit. But I also feel like I want to drop in like what I'm encountering in many of the amazing women folk out there right now in these times is that a lot of them are. It feels like they're really yearning to drop more into their feminine.
Yep.
Yeah, like a lot. The system and maybe the way that we are as men or can be as men, or can have a tendency to dwell in the boy a little bit. And that means that the women have to step overly into their masculine, which ultimately they don't really want to do. Like a woman, what I'm experiencing, encountering is a woman wants to be a woman. Sorry, any women, if this comes across as patronizing, it's not meant to be. But like, what I'm seeing is that women, they're like, oh, actually, you know what? I really want to just drop into my feminine and be softer, live more softly. I'd like to feel a man manning up a bit more or even a whole lot more so I can just dwell a bit more, even a lot more in my feminine.
Mm.
Women don't want to be men, but they sort of had to become men a bit as
Yeah.
recently in these last few years, and they really don't want to fucking do that. So that means that we have to step. Here we go. That means that we have to step up to meet them, and that means we have to. Well, no have tos, but we're being called to sort of to heal the boy, in us,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that we can not be residing in the boy. And that's some work,
Mm.
right? Like I can't speak for anyone else, but like I'll acknowledge there's a tendency in myself to I can very easily dwell in the boy. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a really harsh world out there, and it's just like, wow, it's
It's
it's it's
easy. It's easy
it's
to be a little
hard.
boy.
What?
It's easy to be a little boy.
But yeah, it's not really why we're here, is it?
No, no, I'm just saying it's easy to be. That's why you were saying I don't know why. Well, one of the reasons probably is it's easier. It's easier to be a boy than a man often to step up into that space of consciousness and creating safety and awareness and all the other stuff.
So it's like, can we step up in these times as men, but include the boy? Like,
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
Like
I talk.
it doesn't mean shit if the boy isn't included. I mean, I got really tired of going to men's gatherings and men's retreats because I'm like, this
Hey,
is all so macho. Like,
hey, you're talking to the biggest boy right here. I wear a good disguise, but you talk to my kids. And Jenny and I. So Jenny and I have got two children. One of the things we say is like, if you can't bring that little boy online and play with your kids and that sort of thing, that's the we talk about that as the boy energy. Like I just met my niece who's I don't know, I don't know 5 or 6 years old. We are like that.
mm,
We are like that because the little boy in me comes out. I mean, I'm a professional dog trainer by trade. I've trained thousands and thousands of dogs. She wants to get a puppy. First thing I told her, I said to her, you know what? If you want a little puppy, you got to learn to pick up dog poo. She went, oh, I'll show you how to do that. What you do, you get a bag. We got a loaf of bread, a plastic bag, and I stuck my hand inside like a glove. She was, and we found a sock, two socks tied together. We dropped it on the floor, and I said, "This is how you do. You put your hand over it like this, and you pick it up, and you slide that over, and then it's in a bag, and then you tie a knot." I tell you, the next half hour, she had more fun playing around, throwing the dog poo around the room. So I hear you.
we
I
gotta let our
think,
boys play, haven't we? As well as part of the healing of these times.
yeah, yeah.
It's I'm guessing a lot of us have a boy that maybe is a bit numb on some level. So it's also really good to remember, like let's also allow our boys to play.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe this is a good time to move on to chatting about the retreat. I'm aware of the
yeah,
time as well, and because for me, what the retreat is, this 5 day retreat that we're running in the beginning of October, and we'll put a link down below so you can feel if it's something you're interested in. Is it's really about as an individual. It's about the relationship with yourself. Because Jenny and I always say, you know, nothing really is going to change until the relationship you have with yourself changes. Until you can love the little boy, love that wild person in you that wants to break free, that wants to quit the corporate job and go running into the wilderness and jump in a lake and scream and roar and just not care like there's no and bring in the love and bring in that. So it's about bringing all these pieces together as an individual. And then when you change as that individual, the relationship you have with your 6 year old niece changes. The relationship you have with your business colleagues, your parents, your own children, and your partner and friends, it all changes because you can be authentic and you have all those pieces on tap. I often talk about it being a bit like a builder. If you've only got a hammer, you've only got a certain amount of value and worth, and you can only do so much. But when you've got this kit bag and you can be this, you can be that, you can change. It's far more exciting world. It's far more fun, interesting, loving. And that's what the retreat is. It's about. First of all, to be honest, it's about having a look at some of those broken bones and fixing some of those as well. Because we sometimes it's hard to build love and to create the spine, which I see as like building muscle. It's about building, becoming stronger. It's hard if you have broken bones. So we sometimes need to fix the bones first, and then we can do the rehab and become stronger and more flexible. So that's what the retreat is. It's about finding these pieces that we've never looked at, working through those, facing them, and then tapping into more love, more power. But it's the power of love, not the love of power. It's the power that comes from love. Mm,
mm.
mm, mm. I'm getting a big calling to mention the dogs. I have a huge, like I said, I've professionally trained thousands and helped over 100,000 dogs. There's something authentic about the animals, the animal kingdom. And we bring a lot of that into the retreat. It's all based on nature's laws. I often say the animals, like the dogs, You look at a dog, they're down the park, rolling in the mud, just sniffing around, dirty, feral, just having fun. Then they kind of come back and they lie on their backs. And all they want to do is have their tummies tickled and just be loved and snuggle up to you. Then the next minute they're lying, they just fall asleep. They sleep for hours and hours, meditating. Their little legs are twitching. They're in their dream world. Then somebody comes to the front door and they go into that. Don't you cross that line. Don't you dare come in here. And then they're back to tickle my tummy. Oh, you can come in. Come on in. They change state. They have all of these parts online. And I sometimes think that is who we are as humans, or can be, when we bring it all together. Hmm.
Mm. It sounds good, Dan. I feel like I just want to drop in. I was just feeling your beloved Jenny just a few seconds ago, and I just want to mention that this woman that Dan is running this retreat with, Jenny, she is really some amazing woman, right? I'm like, when I just, every encounter I've had with her has just been like, fucking hell, what, this is some being. Like, she's like, right, she's really something.
Yeah.
um she's very extraordinarily gifted, multidimensional, powerful being, powerful and soft, but definitely powerful. And I feel like her medicine is a huge part of this retreat.
Yeah. No, you're right, Bob.
And also, like, also good to mention, right, Dan, like, you and Jenny you've been called.
Mm,
Not, this isn't, it's coming through you, right? You've heard a calling to
mm.
come all the way from New Zealand. It's a long way, it's the other side of the world. You've you've been called to Glastonbury to offer
Mhm.
some divine, powerful work for the right souls
Yeah.
at this time. And the work is also goes beyond just the souls, the people that come on the retreat. It's really going into the land. It's going, traveling through the ley lines. It's also collective. It's about healing the collective, and shifting stuff up on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Jenny is that kind of being, right? So,
Yeah.
are any of you who are watching this, that also have that intrigue and that calling for for bigger work, for collective work, for work for the collective, work for the planet? That's also a really
Yeah.
a juicy part of this, what Jenny and Dan offer. Um, right?
There's a lot going on right now, and yeah, I appreciate that, Bob, about Jenny. And one thing I was going to mention, which ties in, is I want to acknowledge the women out there who have done a lot of this already, and there are a lot of those women actually going to be coming all the way from New Zealand. They've traveled to many of our retreats, and they will be coming, and some men will as well. And a lot of those women, what they are doing, and Jenny especially is amazing at doing this, is helping create a safe space for us as men to do some of this work, which is
Oh, really?
amazing. There's men who can help us with this, and there's also women. There's something very healing about having women in a space as well as just men. It's powerful.
It's about it's about doing this work together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've healed in spaces where there's just men, and it was great. It's not quite the full village, to use
Mm.
the village. We the village is our last retreat. We had people who were 82 years old, an 82-year-old couple, and we had people in their 20s. We had singles, men, women. The 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 safety that we felt as a group was off the charts, and that's where, wow, the work that can be done is powerful. So yeah, acknowledging Jenny and the other women who are coming, and women who are being called, and men who are feeling, yeah, I want to step up. I want to feel this. I want to shift. I always say we've only got one life. We've only got one life. And if you really want to tap into something extraordinarily powerful, and we're talking, people use the word transformation, but this is it's a quantum shift in who we are and what you feel and experience and realize is possible. And you will never be the same again. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
feeling it.
If you're still watching this, that's pretty much me. I feel like I've shared what I really need to share. So I will, again, I'll leave a link to the retreat down here and honoring you, Bob, and all the work that you do in Glastonbury and wider afield. I don't know if there's any more you want to share, but yeah.
I feel pretty complete as well. I just feel to mention that the retreat is called the Journey of the Heart in Union.
Mm.
It's it's a meeting of men and women coming together to do the work together in a really well held, very safe container. Jenny and Dan, this is what they do, and they've been doing it for a long time. They've been together for 26 years. They're a powerhouse couple. And this is the work that's being
Mm.
asked for on the planet at this time. And this, yeah, I believe that there's a lot more of this work coming. This is, the work of men and women doing this work together. Um, it's it's the we're on the front line, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
It's now time to help each other to heal, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what this retreat is going to be about.
Mm. The retreat is actually the masculine and feminine heart in union. All about that. Those two parts coming together.
Yeah,
Love you, Bob.
maybe too, Dan. I really enjoyed seeing your boy, bro. It's been nice to see your playful. It's really good. It's really, yeah, it's great that you're not afraid to show him. To
No, it's
yeah,
it's for me it's the juiciest part of life. The little boy being able to be, yeah, drop into being a little boy and having kids has certainly helped that.
no.
All right, brother.
All
All
right.
right.